Hey everyone, right, so this is a Mark II, a 1210 Mark II. This is one of my prototype turntables that I've been in the process of building up and getting to how I want for use with phase. So this is specific with phase. As you can see, there's no arm. I've made a plate for this particular turntable. Now this is going to be removable, and I'm doing this with a hot swappable tone arm. So the idea will be that you can have this to play with phase with more room, or have it so that you can put your arm in place and use it with normal records as well. The biggest problem and bugbear that I find whenever I use phase is that when the arm is on its rest, obviously it's quite close to the pitch control slider area, and if you're putting your hand over, obviously it's annoying because you don't use the arm. Now what I tend to do is have the lift on the arm and have the record have the arm 3/4 of the way into the record just to get it out of the way. And I thought, well, a lot of people are breaking the arms and taking the solder apart, but I thought, nah, just make a plate, get it on there. This then opens up lots of possibilities and things that can be done around this area as well, particularly on the plate, which is really exciting that I'm not going to tell you about just yet. But the fact that you can have it and hot swap the arm out of the way is a big plus. You get all the freedom and all the room no matter what way you have it. And the fact that if you're going to be using this with phase purely anyway, there's lots of things that you can do to make this turntable just that little bit easier for you to move around. So to give you an example now, you can lift up with your little finger and it's a hell of a lot lighter than what it was before because the arm's been removed, and also I've removed the weighted section from inside the turntable. But what I've also done, when most people use and remove the weighted sections to do all different things to make them lighter, they remove the back plates and they take everything off. Well, I've actually popped the back plates on and also wrapped internally the plates with the fixing screws back on with some nice washers, just to finish things off nicely. So again, you're not going to be using dust covers, but I suppose you can use deck savers with this if you really want to. But if you look at some of the features of what I've done, so the platter, as you can all see, I mean, this is apart from another turntable I had. Someone had obviously metal brushed over this, just to steel brushed it or walled it to get all the paint off. Made a bit of a pig's ear of it, but I've managed to smooth everything down, get the majority of the scuffs out and polish it up quite nicely. So it's come out really well now. Looks a lot better. I was going to just flat black everything, but I decided against it and thought it looks quite nice as it is. So that's why we kept it here. Now you'll see these toggle switches. Now because you're using this with phase, and it's not predominantly going to be used with normal records, I thought, well, the pop-up light is made redundant. You're not going to need to see any grooves on a record because you're not using that record to, you're not playing that record, are you? So it doesn't make a difference. So I've removed it completely, and I've actually installed two different switches on here, two different toggle switches, push up and push down momentary switches, nice and easy for me to install. To do a couple of trick things with this. Took a lot of rewiring and getting things right and looking at some schematics to get things how I wanted. But if I start this up, also, yeah, they've got LEDs that are obviously green, 33, 45 strobe and the pitch. But what's happened is now, as you can see, so we've got a green lock on the pitch. Move it past it, it still stays on. This is a new old stock -1 Mark II slider unit, by the way, for those that are wondering what unit's inside this. But push the button down, turns the switch off, get to the pitch, there's your pitch control. And you can see your strobe dots moving when I move it here. So +6 has been calibrated to 6.4, halfway between 6 and the 7, as you can see. Then you've got your 3.3, which looking at the camera while I'm doing it, should be about here. There we go. Your -3.3 is always a funny one, but as long as it slows down before the 0 position, which it does, and then we get it out again, 3.3 here I think is just below 3. It's pretty damn good for a new old stock unit calibrated to its correct settings it should be. But either way, got brand new pitch control in there. The lock has been bypassed completely. Now these are at two different heights, so before you start thinking, oh, he's put them down at a different angle, no, they're actually at two different heights. I've deliberately done it like this so you can then, know which one is different. You could have done them in two different colours, but I liked them how they were and decided to do at two different heights. So you've got your lock that you can turn on or off. A lot of people I know tend to put LEDs on these and pop them up in the same position as like the Mark 5s or the M3Ds. I think that's pointless. It's not a Mark 5, it's not an M3D. If you're going to do it properly, make your own take on this. So no LEDs were needed because you've got the LED on the pitch. So that's that. The other switch on here, a lot of people do all various different things on the internals, like they'll change things so you can toggle the speed and all that rubbish. No. This is something I've been asked for by a lot of customers. This is the finished result. You've now got reverse play. This isn't a vinyl touch kit. There's no double start and stop and tapping the start and stop button or anything. This is actually a dedicated switch purely for forward and reverse play. I'll do this myself. And also, like I said before, so this has got the pitch control wired in, so you can control the pitch play at reverse, and you can also have the deck playing at perfect zero in reverse as well. Now, I can appreciate that not everybody on here is probably ever going to use reverse. I mean, I used reverse on an old pair of Newmarks many years ago to mix and reverse for a giggle. That was pretty much it. But if you're going to be sampling or doing different samples or play records that play in reverse, this is what you want. Okay, so pitch is calibrated perfectly. We've got reset for the zero position, including the bypass of the lock. Yes, the click is still there, purely because it's a new old stock unit. I didn't want to take it apart, and I actually prefer having the click, the ball bearing and the spring. So we've got a physical switch for the reverse and forward play, and for the lock. No target lamp, but I can install one quite easily if I want to, which I may very well do at a later date. 33 and 45 switches replaced, LEDs brand new, obviously in a nice green colour for 33 and 45, and the strobe. The strobe assembly, funny enough, actually underneath the pitch and the strobe assembly was actually from a Mark V. The top cover, the recessed cover, you'll be able to see that. It's actually from Mark II, and it's got a recess that goes all the way over. I only have one of these, and the strobe assembly tower is from a Mark II, but the switch is also from that too, but the board and the base assembly is from a Mark V, if that makes sense. So that's why the strobe tower isn't recessed into the unit. Also wrapped the 45 adapter. It's another thing I've done too. I tend to do that quite a lot of these turntables. But yeah, this is the end result so far. Our prototype number 1 of a unit that's a lot lighter than the original. You've got pit reverse play, forward play, lock, as you do on the Mark V's, a blanking plate for the tone arm section, and you get very, very soon, you're going to end up having it so that you can hot swap the arm. But if you're using purely digital files with phase, this is exactly what you want. So this has been wrapped to my specification. Obviously done this all myself, including the graphics, etc. The button is an old button, so like I say, this is actually a test turntable, it's a prototype. It's not going to be perfect, but apart from that, I think I'll change the start and stop over. That's the only thing that lets it down. Everything else looks lovely. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. If you've got any ideas of what you'd like to see on this turntable. This is pretty much my prototype deck. It's been sitting here for a very long time. Finally got it down to a semi-finished, product. So I could literally put an arm in that, change the start and stop button over, and this could be sold as a single turntable. But I just do not want to do that. So anyone's got any ideas of what you'd like to see on one of these, or what you'd like to see on this particular deck, then please do let me know. And also keep your eyes peeled on the YouTube channel, because I know I've been promising the phase review for quite a while now, but I'm trying to get that done this week. And also the Mark VII review. That should also be completed this weekend as well. So keep your eyes on the page and leave your comments below, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.